The great Roman emperor and philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, once wrote something profound that cuts right through all the noise of our daily lives. He said, "Both Alexander the Great and his mule-keeper were brought to the same place by death." What does that really mean? It means in the grand scheme of things, our status, our wealth, our titles, they all fade away. Let's travel back in time to ancient Rome to see this idea in action. Imagine, in the shadow of the Aventine Hill, a powerful senator named Flavius. His life was defined by the weight of his gold and the length of his titles. He walked around draped in expensive Tyrian purple cloth, constantly dictating his achievements to scribes. He wanted to make absolutely sure that history would never forget his name, the name of a man who once commanded legions of soldiers. To Flavius, the world was a ladder, and he believed he stood on the very top rung, looking down at everyone else as mere dust on the streets. Now, picture the stables beneath the senator's grand villa. There, a man named Drusus worked tirelessly. Drusus was a keeper of mules. His hands were rough and permanently stained by the earth and the coarse hair of the animals he cared for. He owned next to nothing, just a single simple tunic and the precious memories of his children's laughter. When the senator Flavius would pass by the stables, he didn't see a person in Drusus. He saw a tool, something as easily replaceable as a wheel on a cart. This was the vast gulf between their worlds. As Flavius grew older, he became obsessed with his legacy. He spent his final years overseeing the construction of a magnificent mausoleum, a tomb so grand it was meant to rival the temples of the gods. He truly believed that stone could preserve his essence, that his noble blood entitled him to a different fate than the common people he so despised. He thought he could buy his way into immortality. Meanwhile, Drusus found his peace in simpler ways. He would sit by the Tiber River at dusk, watching the water flow endlessly onward. He understood something Flavius never could, that he was just a small ripple in a vast, indifferent river. He accepted his place in the natural order of things without arrogance or despair. Then, in the same humid summer, the great leveler death came for them both. Flavius died in a lavish chamber, the air thick with the scent of expensive frankincense. He was surrounded by people who pretended to weep, all of them secretly hoping to be mentioned in his will. His death was a performance, just like his life. Drusus, on the other hand, died in the quiet stillness of the hayloft. His breath simply slowed until it merged with the silent afternoon heat. There was no audience, no drama, just a peaceful return to the earth. The senator was entombed in his marble fortress, a monument to his ego. The mule keeper was laid to rest in a simple, unmarked pit in the potter's field. For a while, the distinction between them remained. But time, the ultimate destroyer of illusions, began its work. As decades turned into centuries, the lines blurred. The marble of the great mausoleum cracked. The persistent roots of a wild fig tree broke through the stone. The inscriptions celebrating Flavius' triumphs were slowly erased by the relentless breath of the wind and rain. The fine oils that once preserved the senator's body seeped into the dark earth, mixing with the soil, just as the humble remains of Drusus had done so many years before. In the vast, cosmic loom of the universe, their threads were untwined. The atoms that had once formed the senator's proud, beating heart, and the atoms that had formed the mule keeper's calloused, gentle hands were reclaimed. They were scattered and reformed, becoming part of the stars, the soil, the air we breathe. Whether they were absorbed back into what Marcus Aurelius called the all-generative reason, a sort of divine universal mind, or simply scattered into the void, they reached the exact same destination. The conqueror and the servant, the master and the tool, were returned to their source. At last, they were equal in the silent, eternal embrace of the cosmos. Their stories remind us that what truly matters isn't the grandeur of our lives, but the grace with which we live them, knowing we all share the same final, humble end. If this story connected with you, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content that explores these timeless ideas. Thanks for watching.